Hey guys, Afronaut here. Today we're going to be going over the question, is Unbreakable the new aspect for Sentinel Titans coming in the final shape what we need? Yep, we're taking another look at Void Titans in this one. And this is the first of 3 videos where I take an in-depth look at the upcoming aspects for each subclass and whether or not they'll fill a hole that a subclass has. Now, while Sentinel Titans are S tier and PvP, in PvE they have some glaring issues that bump them down to B tier and arguably maybe even C tier. In my last Destiny video, I did a deep dive into all the subclasses issues, but to summarize, Void Titan's only effective option for an ability loop is Offensive Bulwark. As a result, the best way to play the subclass is to make sure you're using that aspect somehow. The current pairings are Offensive Bulwark plus Controlled Demolition and Offensive Bulwark plus Bastion. Now, the latter is great. Offensive Bulwark is only active while you have a Void Overshield, and Bastion supplies this to you with no prerequisites. Unfortunately, this excludes you from Sentinel's best offensive aspect, Controlled Demolition, in a world where Sentinel lacks damage output. But the other pairing, Offensive Bulwark plus Controlled Demolition, has absolutely no synergy, and unfortunately, the melees aren't much help. Shield Bash requires a kill to activate the Overshield, and Shield Throw cannot reliably hit multiple targets to give you a full Overshield. And you really need a full Overshield for it to last a meaningful amount of time to get use out of Offensive Bulwark. For context, one hit with Shield Throw is only 22.5 effective HP, 2 hits is 45 effective HP, and 3 hits is 67.5 effective HP. 67.5 is 300% of 22.5, so a big jump in efficacy. So, the hope for a new aspect for Sentinel Titans would be for it to A, provide another route for ability regen that can either pair with Controlled Demolition or stand on its own, or B, provide another option for Void Overshield without sacrificing damage output to synergize with Offensive Bulwark. Unfortunately, from what we've seen of Unbreakable, it does neither. Let's analyze and break down the gameplay that Bungie has shown us. Alright, so I'm seeing Echo of Expulsion, and by extension, most likely Controlled Demolition working with it. Consuming your grenade, of course. Lasting, I want to say approximately 3.5 seconds. A knockback, which could be decent. Suppression, which seems amazing. And of course, no Void Overshield and no ability regen. Feel free to slow the video down and rewatch it if you wanna analyze a little bit more. I put a countdown timer to see stuff, and I'm also in the background shown my barricade versus a suppression grenade, so you can see that the knight in Bungie's video actually got suppressed, and that the Unbreakable aspect is not coded like a barricade, but instead like something else. Well, at least this aspect looks like it could be fun. Unbreakable consuming your grenade is quite unfortunate for a number of reasons, though. Grenades are a Void Titan's best offensive tool, as we can see by the numbers on screen. Also, with an ability that consumes your grenade, you'd want good grenade regen. Cue Offensive Bulwark, of course, but the aspect does not provide an Overshield, so it is absolutely zero synergy with Offensive Bulwark or Bastion. And Controlled Demolition is best paired with grenades for multiple applications of Volatile. It would have been better if this consumed one of the other abilities. Both melees are a shield, and Barricade is a wall of light. For an ability that has you holding up a shield to protect yourself and allies, Bungie, why does it not consume one of those? On a subclass that already lacks damage output, attaching an aspect to our grenade is baffling. Additionally, on a subclass that feels like it needs all 3 aspects, one for the loop, one to get said loop started, and one for damage, it really doesn't need another aspect coming along crowding the space. In PvP, it gets worse, or better, depending on how you look at it. Let me ask you a handful of questions. Why did Stasis Crystals get nerfed? Why did Barricade get nerfed? Why did Antaeus Ward get nerfed? Why are Arc Titans hated in PvP? And what 2 supers are oppressive in competitive PvP? Now imagine a world where a Titan can walk or run up to you with 5 seconds of immunity, then boop you back, do damage, and suppress you. This aspect is going to be busted on release in PvP. On behalf of all Titans, I apologize for the shenanigans you'll be seeing come Final Shape. In a perfect world, I tell Bungie to go back to the drawing board and scrap Unbreakable to instead give Titans a PvP aspect for Sunbreaker. Sunspots and Sunbreaker used to be a great, if not the best, PvP option. Anyone remember D1 Sunbreaker? Or Lorelei when it was released? Now, Sunbreaker is our worst PvP subclass. And I know the theme of all the new supers and aspects is supposed to be offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. So Void makes the most sense with that. But Bungie has never fully adhered to the rules they themselves set. You need only look a little further into the video and see that the new Arc Hunter Super and the Solar Warlock aspect already break the mold by being purely offensive tools with no supportive options. Sentinel Titans already have 3 aspects that could flow extremely well together if tweaked a bit, that also allow for lots of build variety. And it is already top tier in PvP. It doesn't need anything new, just some love and attention. So yeah, in a perfect world, I wouldn't even give Void a new aspect, even if that means breaking the balance of each light element getting one new aspect. However, we don't live in a perfect world. So instead, I'll provide some changes that could really elevate this aspect for Sentinels. A, the ability consumed is either melee or class ability, preferably class ability so it doesn't diminish any damage output. B, make the damage you block convert to an overshield. And in my previous video, if my fix for Mask of the Quiet One was implemented, this would already be possible with Controlled Demolition. And if Controlled Demolition at base gave overshield instead of health, this will also be possible. And if the ability consumed is class ability, I would say that it shouldn't do damage. Unbreakable, that is. But if it were to consume your melee, I would say that it should still do damage and give you the overshield, based on how much you block. And C, make it augment Banner Shield to allow for the damage you block to make your shield throws do more damage. So to answer the question, is Unbreakable the new aspect for Sentinel Titans coming in the final shape what we need? No, it's really not. At the end of the day, I know that these aspects aren't in the game yet, but it is much easier for Bungie to make changes to abilities during development than when an ability is in the live game. So, I'm providing feedback based on what Bungie has shown us, and the hopes that my voice is heard, and they make changes accordingly. Anyways, I'd love to get your thoughts of what all of you think down in the comments below. Thanks again. Peace. Afro out.
1 minute remains.